Hi, I'm Laurie and Ross Smallwood, and I'm going to tell you how Laurie's Little House on the Prairie homestead began, how it all started. We were not out hunting for homesteads. It had always been something we dreamed about, being off the grid and self-sufficient, but my husband had lived on the pig farm and his entire life, 47, more than so, entire life. He moved there at 8, 47 years. And so I lost my son Joshua, my middle son, to testicular cancer on February 7th of 2010. And I was in pretty bad shape for about 5 years. And we had some friends staying with us that had bought property up here. And so one Saturday, to get me out of the house, they said, we want to take you up here and want to show you the property we bought. So we come up for the day, and I got up here, and I could just breathe in peace, tranquility, and a feeling that had never come over me before. It was just absolutely amazing. And I could feel my son's spirit. I just was so overwhelmed. I stood on that hill and I told Barney, I said, Barney, this is where I want to retire. It's absolutely beautiful country up in southeastern Arizona. So we visited a couple more times, helping them move their things up here. And this one day, Mike comes over. Mike and Cynthia Clayton, who built the cabin by their own two hands in their late 50s, early 60s. And he says, hey, I want you to come over and meet my wife, Cindy. So I get on the back of the quad with him, and Barney has a story about their quad ride. And brings me over. Cindy and I are sitting in the kitchen, and she's tatting, crocheting. And she says, I hear you lost a son to cancer. I said, yes, last year. And she says, we lost our boy to testicular cancer. And I said, that's how we lost Joshua. So we both start crying, of course. And it still gives me goosebumps. Mike comes in, chimes in. He's listening from the other room. Now, this is a mountain Mike. He's a big, burly backwoodsman. And he says, when's your birthday? Like, okay, it's an odd question. September 2nd, and before I could finish, he says 1959. I said, yes, 1959. And now Cindy's crying. And I'm like, what did I say wrong? And Cindy says that was Wesley's birthday. Wow. From that moment forward, we became family. We called them Mom and Dad. We believe that our sons brought us together. And that's how this whole thing began. We formed a bond. We'd come up here, and especially I'd come up here on anniversaries and birthdays and spend them here because I just felt closer to my son. Mike would give me his quad. I'd get to the highest hill and just sit up there and talk to him, and just kind of felt closer to the heavens up here. And so fast forward to March 2016. I'm on my way home, and I'm just crying out to God, asking him, please, I need you to pick my brother up and move him. We have been taking care of him. I have a mentally challenged brother, and he's been living with us on and off over the years. And we just had been at our wits' end. We had an open door at the farm for homeless family members, friends that were going through divorces, friends that were whatever their situation. We just would give them a hand up and, a place to stay. And Barney and I were getting to the point in our marriage where we wanted to be just the two of us. And so I'm not in the house 5 minutes from that prayer, and the phone rings, and it's Mike, and he says, "Hey, what you doing? We need you kids to come up tonight. We need to talk to you." And we're like, "Okay, is everything okay? You know, everybody well?" And yeah, we're fine. See, Mike had cut his hand off a couple of years earlier, and they put it back on. So I said, okay. So I went and grabbed Barney. We drive up that afternoon, and we were sitting at the kitchen table, and they said, "We would like to deed you kids the homestead." What? Mind you, Wesley was their only son, so they had no children to pass it on down to. Yep, we want it to be loved, and you know, we want it to be taken care of. So we felt very honored and very grateful that it was offered to us. And so we're kind of in shock because we weren't looking to move. Now, mind you, I had just been praying that God would move my brother, not that he would pick us up and move us. So I was like, wow, that's like a total answer to prayer. Okay, so it took us less than 48 hours to make the decision. We said, did a handshake? Yes. Went to a lawyer, signed the papers, and that was that. May 1st, 2016. So this May will be our 3rd anniversary. It's wonderful having them as a part of our life. They still come up here on a monthly basis and give us tips and tricks, and they're still teaching us 3 years in. I mean, this is a continuing learning curve for me, especially, and Barney as well, as much as he knows. Living on a farm his whole life, it's completely different. So that's how the story began. That's how Laurie's little house on the Prairie homestead was acquired, and Willow Springs Haven is going to be the name of the future businesses. And in the next following videos, we'll be getting excited for you to get to know us and who we are, and our children, and we can leave our legacy to probably our grandkids. Our kids are my kids are city kids. So anyways, I hope you enjoy the rest of the videos.